Greetings ladies and gentlemen, Fuzzfinger here and welcome to another update video for the latest World of Warcraft expansion announced at the current BlizzCon, Battle for Azeroth. Apart from Cataclysm, which did things a little bit differently, we've all become used to the fact that when a new expansion arrives, so does a new continent for questing through. That also rings true for Battle for Azeroth, but the main difference here being, instead of one new continent, we're getting two. So we're getting two continents, one for each faction, primarily. For the Alliance, we're having Kulturas. We're going to have a look at some of these in a moment. And each of the new continents is going to have 3 leveling zones. And once your character has reached level 120, which is going to be the new max level, then you can continue questing by doing the zones you couldn't previously do from the other faction's continent at that point. So interestingly, that means we're getting 6 new zones in total. Compare that to Legion's 5 new zones at launch, not including the Broken Shore, and in fact if we don't include Suramar, then we actually only got 4. The difference here being is that instead of levelling through 4 zones as we did in Legion to get to max level, we'll only be levelling through 3. However, in this case, if you want to level both an Alliance and a Horde character, you'll get a completely different experience on each attempt. And as with Legion, you'll be able to select which of your 3 factions zones you go to and in which order, and they'll all scale between levels 110 and 120. Let's begin then by taking a brief look at Kulturas, the Alliance's continent, an ancient human kingdom as we are told here, and one in which we need to make our allegiance with the races that are present. First up then we have Tirigarde Sound, which by the looks of things is going to be the pirate zone if you like, and it's going to be led by Catherine Proudmoore, who is actually the mother of Jaina Proudmoore. And this is the zone that's going to contain the Alliance hub, the capital city, if you like, the new Stormwind, whatever that's going to appear as. So let's have a look at Tirigarde Sound. Next up for the Alliance then we have Drustvar, and we don't know a whole lot about this place other than we're told it is cursed, so let's have a sneak peek. I'm getting a kind of Tarokar Forest impression from that particular zone. But finally for the Alliance on Kulturas we have Stormsong Valley. Now this is going to be our base of operations in terms of the Navy that we're hopefully going to be recruiting on our campaign to go across to Kalindor and defeat the Horde. In order to do that, we're going to have to make friends with House Stormsong. Let's take a sneak peek at this zone. Moving on then, the second of the two continents being introduced with Battle for Azeroth is the Horde continent, and it's Zandalar. Very briefly, just before we take a look at the individual zones, Zandalar is the homeland of the Zandalar tribe. You might remember those going far back as Classic WoW and before, but also all of the trolls in Azeroth originally come from this place. Interestingly, there were hints during Cataclysm that Zandalar was actually destroyed, and then in Mists of Pandaria, Nat Pagal gives some continued hints that perhaps that wasn't quite the case. Well, obviously now it's been rediscovered, and if you're playing as a Horde character, you're going to be making your way here early on in the expansion, and you're going to want to start speaking to the races here and becoming friendly with them. You're going to need their help in the battle against the Alliance. So, okay, Cataclysm, Deathwing might not have completely destroyed Zandalar, but those events did have a big effect on this continent, and that's going to come into play as you make your way through the individual zones. Let's have a look at those now. First up, we have Zuldazar, which will be the capital of Zandalari, and it is the capital of all of the troll races in Azeroth. The capital itself is a series of troll towers, or ziggurats, and from a distance, if you stare at it, it's going to look like a huge mountain. A mountain made with troll buildings and architecture, of course. And this place is ruled by King Rastakhan, who is actually king of all of the troll races across Azeroth, he himself being a jungle troll. Let's take a brief look at Zuldazar. Next up then, the second of the three zones for the Horde continent of Zandalar is a place known as Nazmir. I couldn't find out a huge amount about Nazmir in the pre-existing lore for the game, but from what I understand, this used to be a vibrant area of lush forest, but since the Cataclysm and the events involving Deathwing, it's begun to sink into the sea and is now, as it says here, a festering swampland. One of the main enemies that are going to be located here are the Blood Trolls. You can see them down there, and you're going to have to enlist the help of the Lower and use them to help uncover Titan secrets so powerful that you could end all life on Azeroth. This certainly sounds like an interesting zone, one I'm particularly looking forward to playing through. Let's take a look. Perhaps in similar fashion, Vol'dun, which is the third Horde levelling zone over on their continent, is also a zone that used to be a vibrant jungle. However, it exists today only as an uninhabitable desert. In all honesty, I'm just thinking, it's been a while since we've had a good desert zone, hasn't it, in WoW? I'm thinking Uldum, right back in Cataclysm, was probably the last time that we had one introduced into the game. So this will be a nice opportunity to go back into this kind of environment for levelling. When levelling through this zone, you're going to want to befriend the Vulpera, and the Sethrak are going to be the enemies you're going to be fighting against. And as you can see, the Sethrak seem to be some kind of a new snake-like race, which I don't think we've seen before in the game, so it'll be interesting how these are implemented. Let's have a sneak peek at Vol'dun. And that brings us to the end of this first look at the new zones being introduced in Battle for Azeroth. So please share your thoughts in the comment section. In particular, what do you think of this new concept of splitting the levelling zones into two? One set for Alliance, one for Horde. Is that a good idea or a bad idea? And I'll be back soon for more World of Warcraft BlizzCon 2017 coverage. Bye.